Ever feel like life is just way more complicated than it needs to be? Yeah, you're not alone. Well, today, we're going to dive into the really simple but incredibly profound philosophy of a man who believed the secret to getting everything you want in life is actually all about helping others. Let's get into his story.
And that idea? That was pretty much the cornerstone for Zig Ziglar. What a name, right? But his message was even more memorable. He'd always say that, underneath all the noise and the struggle we create for ourselves, the path to a really fulfilling life is actually surprisingly simple.
But let's be real, simple does not mean easy. And a lot of the time, we don't even start looking for these simple truths until everything just completely falls apart.
I mean, just imagine hitting rock bottom. For so many people, that's not just a saying, it's a painful reality. You're facing a combination of things like divorce, bankruptcy, or maybe foreclosure. That kind of thing can leave anyone feeling totally lost and hopeless.
And it's in those moments that people often look for a lifeline. The author of the article we're looking at today said that during his own toughest times, he turned to Ziglar's books and speeches. Ziglar just became this voice of encouragement for him, a source of inspiration right when everything seemed to be collapsing. So what was it about this guy that connected with people so deeply?
Well, to really get his message, you've got to understand the man himself. And it turns out, behind that super confident speaker on the stage was someone who knew exactly what it felt like to struggle. Just look at this. By the time he was 45, on the surface, Zig Ziglar looked like he had it all. His career was taking off, he had a happy family, he was the picture of success. But underneath all of that, he was completely broken. Not just financially, but more importantly to him, he was spiritually broke too.
He just knew that something essential was missing from his life. And finding that missing piece, well, it wouldn't just transform him personally. It would become the very foundation of his entire philosophy.
And that turning point? It came on a very specific day, July 4th, 1972. At 45 years old, Ziglar made a profound commitment to his faith, and he would later point to that exact moment as the day everything in his life started to change for the better.
In his own words, this was it. That was the missing ingredient. And it wasn't just some small shift, no way. It was a fundamental 180-degree reorientation of his entire life. It just goes to show you the incredible power that finding a core belief system can have. This huge transformation completely redefined his idea of success. He came to believe that the real measure of a successful life wasn't about wealth or fame, but about something intangible that you just can't buy, peace of mind. His focus shifted completely from all the external achievements to his internal well-being. And this brand new perspective on life is what led to the core idea that would define his entire legacy, a simple secret that he was about to share with millions around the world.
So what was it? What was this powerful, life-changing idea that came out of his personal transformation?
Here it is. This is probably Zig Ziglar's most famous quote, and it really sums up his entire worldview. It just turns the conventional idea of success completely on its head. See, instead of focusing on what you can get, you focus on what you can give. Your own success becomes a kind of byproduct of helping other people succeed. Now, this wasn't an idea Ziglar just invented out of thin air. He was tapping into a principle of service that is ancient and universal, and for him, it was deeply rooted in his newfound faith. The source material we're looking at connects his philosophy directly to this verse. It suggests that the path to true greatness isn't through power or piling up stuff, but through serving others. And that connection is what makes his message, as the source puts it, both simple and deep. And this message of service wasn't just for him. It became a global phenomenon. It resonated with people from all walks of life who were looking for a more meaningful way to live and to work.
All right, so what are the big takeaways from all this? First, you are blessed so you can be a blessing to other people. Second, the real path to greatness is through serving others. Third, true success should be measured by your internal state, your peace of mind, not just by what's on the outside. And finally, we are all here to use our unique gifts to help each other.
And that brings us to a final, powerful question, one that was also posed by Martin Luther King Jr. It really reframes our whole perspective. Zig Ziglar's legacy challenges us to stop asking, "What can I get?" and instead to constantly ask ourselves, "What am I doing for others?" And in answering that question, we might just find everything we were looking for all along.